So there are questions or comments either on that summary or on some of the comments that our presenters made?
I just wanted to say that on behalf of the steering committee, this exercise was extremely valuable for us. And so we really do appreciate the effort that everyone has gone through and the diligence and thoughtfulness that was put into this process. So I just want to make sure that we got that out.
I wanted to echo your thanks for that. And I would like to have a little greater clarification, particularly on the intellectual property issue. I know we've skirted around it. We said that the intellectual property should reside with the developer, but maybe if there's any more clarity or thoughts, particularly that all of you have on that, I'd like to hear more about that.
Michael, do you want to offer your experience?
So this is actually a conversation that we had a lot, and one of the things I found very enlightening was specifically from the Indian universities that were in our group. Intellectual property in India seems to transfer around quite quickly. It operates in an open source model, much different than what we see in the U.S. So for the student community, I think this is something that you'll want to take into account when working with U.S. institutions. The intellectual property is very well defined in the U.S. and most often is quite difficult to get rid of and push from faculty control. However, and correct me if I'm wrong, sir, you had a lot of feedback on this yesterday, but it sounds like there's a lot of movement of intellectual property and curriculum throughout the Indian system and no real fights when in the U.S. it would be a difficult lawsuit quite quickly. Do you have any further insight on that?
Well, in my view, as far as the public material is concerned, unless the person or the writer has a copyright, it can be, it is open for everyone to use it. And secondly, when it comes to the university, especially the SAU, when any job is entrusted to a particular faculty member, and whatever comes out becomes the property of the university. So it may be, the copyright could be in the name of the university rather than so it depends. So for example, if it is let's say the technology coming out, some of it is also given the copyright. But most of the times, what I understand is that because it's a work,
Hello. Entrusted by the university to a particular faculty. So if any copyright or any property right comes, it comes in the name of the institution. But as far as the published material is concerned, because we write papers, research papers and other things, we generally don't have any copyright. And the copyright goes with the publisher itself.
Very good, thank you. Does that help? Anybody else have any general feedback on? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nancy Kannan, I have a couple of observations. The first, throughout the consortium efforts, the scope for the NGO involvement found to be silent. I would like to recollect the discussion that Alice brought to the table yesterday, highlighting the role of lingo into the entire effort. And similar cases, can be realized in India also. So in that way we can better deliberate on that. Number two is the target. Target, sometimes, during the yesterday deliberation, we have also mentioned the farmers as well students category. And one of the discussions by Vice Chancellor, they have also brought in multiple stakeholder list to the entire one. So we need to be clear on which target are we focusing, because it has lots of value in terms of content development.
Thank you for the comments. Are there other questions or observations on the development of this consortium?
Yeah, just wanted to make a couple of observations in terms of, say, for example, the government of India is promoting some programs in agriculture, for example, the soil fertility testing program, which means a lot of skill development for the students in the villages that are either 10th failed or 12th failed. That's what the government is trying to target, to train them in soil fertility. So the consortium could go ahead and start some courses or certificate programs in the area to immediately address some of those. Again, another program is drip irrigation. So given there, some technology and skill development issues to address this. So I think that will bring in the funding stream from the government of India and probably kickstart some activities.
That's a very good observation, and a way of using sources to support other initiatives supported by the government to not only strengthen those initiatives, but also create a funding stream. Perhaps a source of an institution as well.
Second one.
Other questions or comments?
क्या करते हो यार ये हनुमान कौन हनुमान क्या है बंद कर देना जो ऐसा कोई बाहर से
Other comments?
उसका वीडियो बंद
Yes.
Not being from the agricultural field, I was kind of able to observe the proceedings. Two comments. One, when Pradeep Kaur was here from MHRD, and MHRD in general is very interested in supporting content development. And so that would be something that should be actively pursued. And the methodology used in this content development is that it goes into the open source. So if the consortium chooses to adopt that route, then things can go into open source. However, MHRD does not preclude the content that is developed in this fashion to be monetized through certificate and other programs. So both are realizable in some sense. The second thing is that having been in the space of content development, it is an evolving field. And as many have observed, we need to change the paradigm from the teaching to the teacher-centric, to learner-centric, if you will, and also identify who the target audiences are and maybe customize for them. And this whole process actually brings about another space called instructional design. And therein, the content may be coming in textbook fashion, but when it actually goes into a really good MOOC, which are still, the definitions are evolving, you may have things like animations, simulations, and many other things, which then is a property, you can then think of who owns the IP, etc., but don't become measures. So I think if it is intended for a good purpose and it's going to be for the overall good, then how can people collaborate in doing this may be thought through. And ownership and other things can be also discussed thereon. These are a couple of comments.
Okay, thank you for those comments. I think you've challenged us to think about this. I'm going to take one more question. I know we're about 10 minutes beyond our allotted time, and I know in the next session we've invited the Director General to speak to us.
I have two observations. The Government of India identified 31 sector skill councils. Of that, we can identify some of the sector skills council which is totally related to agri and agri-allied sectors. And we need to formulate the courses related to some of the sector skill councils in agriculture. The second observation is, say in the era, now we are giving more emphasis to entrepreneurship, and we need to formulate some of the courses, either certificate courses or diploma courses in the area of entrepreneurship. The third thing is we need to think of some new delivery models. So from our university, I am coming from veterinary university. So we launched a new novel project with ICT, that is 24/7 veterinary services across the state, that is eVet Connect. So with a call center, and we formulated our own platform, just like Wikipedia, that is Wikipedia, to provide the entire information on veterinary sciences. So this way we need to think of new delivery models, give more emphasis to entrepreneurship, and to give much more emphasis to sector-related courses, that is skill development programs. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments.